Imagine getting into your driver's seat, pressing the start button or turning the key, and absolutely nothing happened. The lights might come on, but the engine is stone cold silent. You plug in your scanner, and it spits out code P0633. It sounds like a generic computer glitch, but this is actually your car's security system having a major identity crisis. This code specifically means Immobilizer Key Not Programmed, and it tells us that the engine control module, or ECM, does not recognize the transponder signal coming from your key. In modern vehicles, especially commonly seen in Dodge, Ram, Jeep, and Chevy models, the key isn't just a piece of metal anymore. It has a tiny chip inside called a transponder. When you bring the key near the ignition or inside the cabin, it sends a secret radio frequency signal to the car's computer. It is like a digital handshake. If the computer gets the right password, it unlocks the fuel and ignition system. If it gets the wrong signal, or no signal at all, it assumes you are trying to steal the car and locks everything down. That is why you are stuck. This often happens if you lost your keys and bought a cheap replacement online. You might have had the metal blade cut so it turns in a lock, but if you didn't get a professional locksmith or the dealer to program the electronic, the car is going to reject it. Another scenario is if you had to replace the engine computer itself. The new computer doesn't know your old keys yet, and they need to be introduced to each other. Before you spend money on programming, do a quick check on your key fob battery. Sometimes a weak battery can disrupt the signal just enough to confuse the system, though usually the transponder works passively. If you have a second key, try that one. If the second key works, you know the first key is the problem. If neither works, you're likely looking at a system-wide issue or a bad receiver module. Unfortunately, this isn't a repair you can do with a screwdriver in your driveway. It almost always requires a bidirectional scan tool to perform the programming procedure.